Hi, my name is Matt Downing with Sterling-Lancaster Community Television. I'm here at the Animal Shelter Inc. with the shelter manager, Melissa Snitzer. Today we're going to talk about kitten adoption and care.
This is Wallace. He's a male domestic medium hair cat, and he's about 10 weeks old. He's super curious and very playful and very friendly. Kind of your typical kitten, would probably do very well in a home with young children. This is Chrissy. She's a female domestic short hair kitten. She's about 3 months old. She's a little bit shy at first, but very sweet. She likes attention and likes to be scratched and petted, likes being around other cats and kittens, and is also pretty playful. This is Harold. He's a male domestic long hair / Maine Coon, potentially. He's about 11 weeks old. He's super friendly, very sweet, and as soon as you pick him up, he starts purring. He loves attention, and he is super curious. This is Jay. He's a male domestic short hair kitten, about 12 weeks old. He's also very playful, a little bit shy at first. He seems to be super active, so he'll need lots of enrichment, and he loves to play with toys. This is Jai. He's a male domestic short hair kitten, about 10 weeks old. He really likes to be scratched and petted. He's pretty vocal, and he is very playful, and he does like being around other kittens.
So, Melissa, what can you tell us about kitten care and adoption?
So right now at the shelter, we have a lot of kittens available. You're going to see just a sample of them today, but we actually have about 35 kittens available. We're working with a rescue group down south, and the shelter that they are pulling kittens from is overcrowded. So lucky for us, we have a bunch of kittens. So something you want to consider when you're thinking about adopting a kitten, say, versus an adult cat, is whether a kitten's activity level is something that you're prepared to deal with and ready for. A kitten versus an adult cat is going to basically do all the kind of crazy things that younger kittens are up to, like climbing your curtains potentially and weaseling their way into little spaces and running around and chewing on things. Oddly enough, kittens do tend to sometimes chew on things. Scratching furniture, carpeting, doorways, you never know. So think long and hard about whether you're ready for something like that, because it does take some amount of training if you're thinking of adopting a kitten. Sometimes an older or just an adult cat, even maybe 2 or 3 years old, could potentially kind of have all of that out of their system and be a little more calm and, just like to hang out on your lap and sleep a little bit more potentially. So your litter training is also almost always ingrained when you adopt an adult cat. That's not to say that it's a hard thing to do with a kitten. They do take to the litter training pretty quickly, but it's one more thing that you kind of have to think about and be prepared for if you're thinking of adopting a kitten. Also, if you have another cat at home, or if you don't have another cat at home, you want to think about whether you have sort of the right environment for the cat or kitten in that way. Sometimes adult cats will take to a kitten right away. Sometimes it takes quite an adjustment period. Sometimes adult cats just don't get along with other cats, no matter how young or what sex they are. So if you don't have a cat at home and you're thinking of adopting a kitten, you may want to look at what your schedule is like at home. Are you home more often than not? Or are you generally out working 8 hours a day, every day? And you may consider 2 kittens versus 1 kitten if you're not home a lot, so that the kittens have some company and a way to kind of amuse themselves while you're away. If you're home more often than not, then a single kitten would probably do just fine. Some cats and kittens are a little more independent and solitary, so they enjoy that time alone. And some really crave a lot of attention and want people or other animals around. So try to get a feel for that if you're looking at different cats and kittens that are available for adoption. Another thing you want to think about is providing some enrichment for the kitten. They are very active. They are very curious. They're kind of into everything. So you want to provide scratching posts for sure, toys, an actual interaction with their family is pretty much, I would say, necessary, because they want, like the toys, the feather toys that you on a wand that you play with them, or The little laser pointers, they love chasing those. And it's also good bonding time for you and your new kitten. So sometimes you want to get things like cat grass for them to chew on, little window perches for them to sit on and look outside. One of the really great things about adopting a kitten versus an adult cat is that a kitten probably is not used to being outside. So you bring the new kitten home and it's a house cat, it's inside, and it doesn't really have an interest in trying to get outside where things are a lot more dangerous for cats. Sometimes with an adult cat, they have been outside in the past. So think about that also when you're choosing a kitten.